Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
Along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
A special guest here, the man from Jump Ship Training, Mr. Seth Page.
Look at this phone.
That's so good.
I should have let the hair down. Oh, I blew it.
I was like, you didn't cut your hair, did you?
No.
How long have you been growing it out for?
I used to be super clean cut, and then COVID closed down their barbershops in Florida, and I've never been back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
dude.
Florida as well. I'm.
How long? Like how long are we talking? How long is it?
It's probably, I don't know, it's below my shoulders. It's pretty long. It's terrible. I want to cut it all the time, but my wife's like, no, it's kind of a part of you now. You cannot cut it. I'm like, I hate it. I hate it. She's like, maybe someday, but it's kind of your image, so you're stuck. I'm like,
You know, I got you. Like I would tell my daughter, I'm like, what do you think I'd do if I shaved my beard? And she's like, no. Like, man, really? But you don't really know me. She's like, it would just be weird. She's seen pictures of me without it, and she's like, no, it's not.
Spin's already on a rampage today.
I know, man. Spin.
I never know if you're on our side sometimes, Spin.
It is hard to tell.
Welcome to the show, everyone. We are going to talk a brand new series called Why Your CrossFit Affiliate Sucks. And it is going to go, I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm excited about the journey we're about to go on. We brought in Seth to join us. And Seth, I know we introduced you as Jump Ship Training. However, you, sir, are an affiliate owner of, is it 4 or 5 affiliates?
5 current affiliates.
5 affiliates.
Damn,
My
dude.
Goodness. What's the oldest, longest standing one?
Well, that we own, since we've taken it over, it's one in Kailua on Oahu. We opened it up literally the second that all the restrictions came off of COVID. And so we've been sort of going through them. But some of them that we've bought are more than 10-year-old affiliates that have sold for different reasons.
What are the names of all of them?
So the one in Phoenix is Jump Ship Phoenix.
Okay.
The one in Lahaina we reopened with some people over in Maui after the fires in Lahaina.
Okay, did you like anything happen with you guys being in Lahaina just with the fires?
So we weren't open then. We lived in Maui, my wife and I, just before the fires. We moved to Phoenix to get that gym going, and then right after we had moved, the fires happened.
Wow.
There was an affiliate there.
Okay.
They didn't burn down, but they lost their space for a number. It's complicated, and then so they weren't reopening, and so coaches from that gym wanted to partner with us and just get a small box. It's like 1,000 square feet, little garage bay that they're working out of right now. So that's that. And then there's 3 on Oahu. So there's Jump Ship, we call it Jump Ship West Side on the west side of Oahu. We have Jump Ship Kailua, which is windward side for people familiar. And then we partnered with some people up in the North Shore recently. It's a CrossFit gym, but it's under the name North Shore Fitness Club, but it is CrossFit affiliated. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Hey, where's the one in Phoenix?
Northern Phoenix between Scottsdale and Glendale.
Bill's a Phoenix boy.
I grew up there, so that's why.
okay.
That's why I was asking.
On Happy Valley, off Happy
Oh,
Valley.
dang. Okay. All right. I know where that is.
So are you in Phoenix now?
No. Long story.
Okay.
My life is complicated, dude. But we're in Hawaii right now, my wife and I. I try to go back to Phoenix as often as I can, which is usually every few months. I try to spend like a week there. I coach as much as I can. I try to hang with the coaches, just make sure that everything's going well. But that place was a 10-year plus affiliate before we ended up buying it. The staff are super established. The membership base is super established. So just sprinkling my brand on top didn't really do much for them. They already have their way. So I try to help in ways I can with programming, coaching, things like that. But they're just cruising. So yeah.
All right. And then Bill, how old is Inferno? Didn't you guys just celebrate recently? Or is it a couple months ago?
Okay. This is one of the things that I have learned about myself, that I am a great coach.
I like how casual you're getting right now, by the way. This is
you like that? I'm a great coach. I really care about my people, and I get very focused about that to where I forget about all the other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So literally we just had one of our anniversaries on the 1st of October.
Oh,
and I fucking blew right fucking by it and didn't even think about it. Didn't even fucking think about it. I'm so lame.
So how did I remember that it was coming up and you just totally blew past
it?
Yeah,
I blew right by it. I do it every time. I'm like, you know what, this year we're going to do, and I just get caught up in whatever we're doing and I don't think about it. But so we are starting our 17th year.
Damn.
That's awesome.
2008 is when we started.
2008. That's when I started CrossFit.
Yeah.
2008.
Me too. And the gym, my first gym is still operating. I sold it off years ago, but it's we opened our first gym in 2009. So that's whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's still going. So yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. Well, there's a lot of experience here. I owned my own affiliate for a decade. It's
Yeah.
now whittled down into my garage. But it's still alive and kicking. You just won't be able to see it on affiliate map. But I mean, I guess if you want to work out with me, you just got to track me down. Good luck.
Would you let someone do that?
Yeah, of course.
That's cool. Hey, just dropping into your garage.
Yep. I'm like, hey, I'll move my car, get after it. I've got what is that? I've got a C2 bike, rower, skier, rack.
Okay, but the real question, how many barbells do you have in there?
2. One man,
okay.
one woman.
All right.
That's plenty.
Yeah. I need to get one out of the garage when I hit I bought myself a 10-year. It's funny. It's like I bought myself a 10-year anniversary gift, and then we closed the gym. But I got myself one of those Rogue Ollie bars.
Oh yeah.
It's like I just want to get myself a nice barbell, and it is currently in storage. It's not even in my garage because I don't want to. I don't want to.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and I bought this gun rack. I haven't set it up yet. I've just got to convince my wife that I can start drilling holes into the garage wall. We're not there yet. We're not here, but
you need your son to accidentally kick a hole in the wall somewhere.
Well, he's been trying because the squat rack, which is the one where you can put plates on it to just keep it stable. The only thing I do on it is strict pull-ups or ring dips.
Yeah.
Or ring rows, and you got to weight them down if you're going to do ring rows. Found out that the hard way.
Slide.
No, I pulled it down.
Oh.
I pulled it down on top of myself, and but he'll get on the rings and he'll swing and push off the wall.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, all right, now I got to put a mat there, but
that's funny.
yeah, we'll see. Maybe I will have him punch a hole in the wall.
Plywood the wall. Just plywood it.
Seriously.
Can't destroy that.
It's it might be Ashley will leave for a week-long work trip, and she'll come home, and I'll have already put it up and repainted it and just wait.
You're like, what? No, it's been like that the whole time.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing, and here's another thing with us is we're talking facial hair, beards, and hair is if I grow a mustache out, I believe I have decent facial hair.
You do.
I'm 3 weeks in. I'm getting ready for Halloween, by the way. Bill, Seth, I don't know I don't know your Star Wars side where you lay in that casual fan.
I don't mind it. Very casual. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I was like, hey, Dylan, what do you want to be for Halloween? He goes, Luke Skywalker. I was like, then you, sir, are going to go trick-or-treating with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, that's solid.
So
Makes
I'm
sense.
throwing it out, and then
Dude, you guys are definitely prequel vibes on that for
Right?
sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
he looks like a little Luke.
Yeah, he totally does.
Prequel vibes.
Yeah. So that'll
Solid.
be it. But if I have a mustache every day, it's when are you going to shave it? When are you going to shave it? And then the day I shave it, no mention of it. 0.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, did you even notice? She's like, oh, yeah, you look better. I'm like, I'm never shaving my mustache again. I thought you would come in, you drop your bags and jump on me and be like, oh, thank God, you're so much. Yeah. Nope. No idea. All right. You guys are here because of what we put out on social media. We are starting our very first episode of a new series here on Get With The Programming, simply called Why Your CrossFit Affiliate Sucks. And if you believe that's clickbait, you are 100% correct. However, we will go into certain topics of why certain gyms do suck and reasons for that. Not to just be like, hey, this is why you suck. It's like, hey, this is where the problem is that you might not recognize, and here's a nice way that you can fix that in the most simple, easy way to where what we really want to do is make affiliates better. But in order to get better, sometimes we have to recognize our faults and flaws to do that. I know everybody didn't think they were coming here for a psychology lesson.
They should have known.
Yeah, they should have known. They should have known. But that's where I want to go. So today's topic is simply your equipment is where we're basing this off of for today. And where I want to start with that is people's initial point was like, oh, you don't have enough, or it's not all Rogue, or it's not brand new, and you're not replacing your rowers every 6 months. It's like, no, that is not the case. And I don't know where you guys sit on this, but what my major highlight one is and I've been seeing this in other gyms I now go to because I don't have the OCD control of my own, is the lack of respect people have for the gym equipment is something that drives me nuts. Just as a casual fly on the wall. And this might have just been like the rules that we had. It's like, you don't drop dumbbells in this gym. You don't drop kettlebells in this gym. You don't drop empty bars. You don't drop plates flat on their sides. They're meant to be vertical, not flat. You put the rower handle down when you put the rower away. You don't jam tighten the things on the assault bike and now nobody can open it anymore. Like you wipe down your med balls, like those kind of things. And I see none of that in some of the gyms I go to. And to me, the total lack of respect the members have as a product of the coaches, manager, and owners not enforcing that respect is one of the biggest problems I have looking at affiliates from the outside in versus maybe what I did.
I think one of the hardest things with that is trying to, I will guarantee that most affiliate owners and head coaches agree with what you're saying, but they know that they haven't done it. And then to try to change something like that is like trying to.
I get that excuse.
I mean, I get it. One of the greatest things for us, one of the worst times for gyms in general was COVID, but one of the best things for us was COVID because then everyone came back cleaning everything. And we made sure that everything had to be clean. So we had spray bottles and we had Lysol, and we had towels, and we had all this stuff so that now, since COVID especially, everybody wipes down their bars, everybody wipes down their dumbbells, everyone wipes down their wall balls that are sweated all over the place, or the ab mats that they put their sweaty dome on, or the bench that they sweated all the back of their hair product all over. That has been one of the greatest things for us because the person that did all that shit before was me. And it sucked.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm triggered. You've touched a nerve with me already. So, yeah, you know what? I am so guilty of using the excuse that Bill just put out there too, of like, whatever. It's hard to enforce because, like, from a lot of my circumstances, I am taking over a culture that's existed sometimes for a decade, right?
Yeah.
In what I've been doing lately. So coming in there and then all of a sudden being not the bad guy, but the enforcer, so to speak, can be challenging. Some people don't want to hear it. Some people expect. I have a gym. I'm not going to start picking which gym is which, but I have a gym where people really feel like part of their service is being cleaned up after. And that was how it was for a long time. And so I, for a while was like trying to change certain habits. Like I would get a mop bucket and put it in the middle of the gym full clean and say, hey, when you're done, just quickly spot mop. It's going to help me out. And it's going to look great for you later. Little things like that had to be taught and consistently enforced or it wasn't going to happen. I mean, even you said wiping equipment down, like, geez, yeah, you really got to be on top of that. But yeah, so having that be part of the culture of respect of that is like, has to start from, steady enforcement. And if it's not, don't expect it to happen.
Yeah. And like Bill, like what both of you are saying is that I was at a gym that recently got bought by somebody else and they want that culture to change, but they're almost too afraid to like push everybody too hard too soon to change the culture of a gym and then disrupt maybe what's happening. Dan Guerrero says, some people are lost and don't know what hit them after a workout. So it's important to have coaches to remind them and signs around your gym to help them out. I found that signs do dick.
Signs don't do anything. Nobody reads anything.
Signs almost make it worse for me because then I get more mad because I gave them the sign and then they're not reading the sign and they're still not doing what I want them to do. So I don't put signs up for that reason. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily putting the onus on the athlete. In fact, you should never put that on the athlete. It should come from the coaches, the manager, and the owners. And if you take over a gym and that's a part of the process, yes. I'm not saying like, hey, tomorrow this, but if that is the culture in your gym, and here's why the respect thing is the baseline where I wanted to start it, because then you go to the dumbbell rack and 30% of them are all chipped rubber on the dumbbells.
Did you just look at mine? Did you look at mine? Because
Well,
that's
it
exactly
depends.
what mine looks like.
17 years, there's some natural wear and tear.
Still.
Right? But like the rubbers are breaking off. So everybody's fighting for the good pair and frustrated that there's not good ones when you guys were the ones that made them look like this. Your med balls are getting holes on them or slices because you didn't put the damn J-hook around like I asked you to when the class started and hit the J-hook rack. Or the rowers are all loose and lax because you just leave them stretched out in the catch thing at the bottom, which is only meant for rowing while you're actually rowing, not putting them away, people, right? Or the barbells don't spin, or the plate rings are all getting punched out. Like that respect or lack of to the equipment, to me, is a bad look when someone new drops in, or it starts to create this culture of is unaccountability a word?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah,
It
because
doesn't
you're
sound like it.
normalizing just whatever, work out really hard and then just throw the shit back. Hey, do you guys have jump ropes at your gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, what does that shit look like?
It's like a fucking bird's
Dude.
nest. That's what it is.
I try really hard to make the gym look like what I want everyone to put it back like. I mean, if the gym is going to be completely disheveled, it's going to be really hard to be like, make sure you clean everything and you put it back right. So it's like I try to, in between the classes, if they didn't do it, I'll try to like get it kind of reorganized so that it looks decent. But I will always, at the end, as I'm getting everyone's scores down, be like, okay, we're getting our scores, before we do this, before we do that, before you guys pick yourself up off the ground, make sure you wipe down the med balls, I try to say your sweaty head DNA, something to trigger just a little bit of like, ooh, that's kind of gross.
Like you guys are disgusting.
Clean it up. You sweat ball.
Have you guys ever heard of the broken window theory?
No.
Nope.
The broken window theory is like, not trying to go off topic here, but like if you go into like a neighborhood of a city that's run down and it's beat up, there's broken windows, there's trash, more likely people are going to continue to treat it poorly and stuff's going to move to that sort of area that's going to be nefarious in some ways. The same thing can happen in your gym. If everything's broken, or things aren't clean, if things aren't taken care of, if they're not put away in a specific place, people see that and then they feel like they don't have the responsibility to match anything beyond what they see. So that's just a basic psychology thing, that if you don't have very neat and clean order, the rowers are parked like this. The benches go here. Here's the number. I wrote the number on the dumbbell racks. The number goes there. And if you don't continuously tell them that, they don't even have the urge to do the right thing because they see it all a mess around them. So that's where, again, it comes from, like you guys already said, comes from us enforcing that, because you cannot expect somebody to make it better than what they've seen. In fact, they'll probably make it worse.
Man, I have actually taped on the floor boxes where the rowers were supposed to go.
Oh yeah.
Where the assault bikes were supposed to go, so that everyone put it exactly in the spot. That didn't mean shit.
Yeah.
I would have numbers put up like, I'm like, okay, here are the
have
35s, the 45s, the 25s, the 15s, the 10s, and we kind of go back the other way. And still, I would find 25s in the 45-pound stack. I would find 15s are like, you 15 pounds, you guys. These are not 10s. It says right there in front of you, and
That's
on the
why
floor.
I didn't label them, because I would get more angry.
Oh man,
I think it helps. It helps a little bit. Some people follow it a little bit, but
some people
hopefully once the pattern breaks, then everyone continues to break the pattern.
Right. And Seth, you said it perfectly. Like the broken window theory was something I had written down, but I wrote broken aerodyne.
Same thing.
No, but like everybody has this. I had one. There's a broken bike that's in the corner and it's been there for a year and a half, and you said you're going to be fixing it the next week for a year and a half, and it just sits there.
Yep.
And Seth, you nailed it, because it's a reminder of the lack of importance that maybe you feel about that, as innocent as it can be. Like for almost 2 years, we had a broken aerodyne. I was like, oh God, I could remember to order one part that's like $12 to fix. And I just didn't do it until like I finally did. And when I finally fixed that bike, it felt just so much better, because every day I would walk in and I would see it there in the corner, and it would just piss me off that I haven't fixed it. And I can only imagine that maybe some of the members like, oh, there's the broken bike still, and that could just trickle down. And it might not even be like an intentional thought for some people, but it's one of those, what is that, subconscious
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, we've got an old busted gym in here, or the old bike, or and then they start picking up something, or a drop-in comes in, or someone you're trying to bring into the gym. Like and it's so benign when we talk equipment, yet it's so important. And another one that so when I was on staff, we would travel to different gyms all the time that would host a level 1 seminar, and we would go to a gym where all their barbells were rusted and like some were bent and their plates were terrible. And I was embarrassed for them that was what they presented out there. And like, if your bars don't spin, you don't need to spend $300 on a new bar. Just like take the time to do it yourself. Re-grease those bars, take them apart, get the rust off. Like that in and of itself is another one of those, like you said, Seth, like a broken window thing is like, oh, we got all the equipment in the world, but none of our barbells spin. Half of our dumbbells are broken. Our med balls are all trash, and our rowers are just like shitty. Like the rusted, non-rotating bars is like the lowest hanging fruit you could possibly have as an owner to fit.
I agree, and I think that I don't even really like the excuse like, oh, the gym's not doing that well, so we can't get any money for the stuff. There are always ways to make that sort of thing work. One, you spend the man hours, like you said, taking them apart, cleaning them, getting the oil, scrubbing them, whatever. That's number one. Number two, it's not that hard to do a little bit of flipping. You sell your older bar for $50 to $100 on Facebook Marketplace, and you go buy the newer barbell on sale for $125, $150, and you're spending $100 a bar to replace them. It's not a big deal. There's all kinds. I mean, again, $100, $100, but or you just hold some sort of event in your gym, a one-day throwdown, and raise a little money and flip everything. Like there's ways to do it.
You think Crash Crucible is just like out of the goodness of his heart sometimes to run an event, or is like, hey, we're getting some more GHDs, we're going to program them. I did the same shit. Every year we'd host an event, I think from like 2015 on. I'm like, all right, we're going to program GHDs. I'm going to buy 7 new ones, but I'm keeping 2 and I'm selling 5.
Yep.
Right. And just like that. And even to that point is that you don't have to buy new equipment. You can flip it. But there are bar maintenance, equipment maintenance, little micro companies popping up everywhere that you could pay. Like I saw some people, it's like 25, even if it's like $50 a bar to clean and grease up and have them spinning again. You're not spending $150 to $200 on a new bar. And then people walk in and everything's spinning and clean again. Like there's an element of, I believe, like pride and appreciation as a member that my owner is taking care of these things for my well-being and my experience. Therefore, I have a better, and maybe that's the way to like get them on board. It's like, look, we put a lot of man hours and time to make this equipment good. Please respect the equipment as much as you guys respect me. And if you don't, maybe that's on me as well. I don't know.
Yeah, one of the best tools I've ever seen. Everyone's trying to clean their bars, trying to get all the chalk off of them and all the rust and all that. One of the wire brushes that Rob Orlando made.
Oh yeah,
I have those.
Dude,
I got one of those in my garage.
Best thing ever, ever, because it really does take. I mean, for us, we have a lot of chalk monsters that will. Like they put on so much goddamn chalk on the bar that like there is no knurling anymore. It's just like a chalk block that they're holding on to now. I'm like, the knurling is supposed to be the part that that's the friction, right?
Yeah.
But like to get that stuff off, and we have people that they will wipe the bars down, with like our Lysol spray stuff that we have, our little solution that we have. And that's cool that they do that, but then all of a sudden you just get like a white ghost that's like up and down the whole thing. And with any kind of liquid, any kind of fluid on that, that's the stuff that starts to rust. So you can take that wire brush and just kind of hit it. The hard part, and I have to remind myself to do this all the time, is so we have the rack where all the bars are standing up. So you put them down into the sleeve that way.
Oh yeah.
So that it's great for spinning up and down. You work that thing, you work it up and down with the wire brush and all that dust. You're trying to, make sure you don't breathe it all in. And I sometimes will forget how much shit goes right onto the top of the collar.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that makes it so your bar doesn't spin a lot.
Yeah,
of
no,
times.
it all
So
seeps
I have
down.
to I gotta like crunch it up sometimes. Like, oh yeah, I gotta remember. to
Wait,
clean
Bill,
those.
how does that brush work? Can you show me like how that
No,
works?
I'm not gonna show you again. You
Oh,
had the
oh.
one shot,
Do you
dude.
go
I was
thumb up
waiting.
or do you
I
go
was
thumb
waiting
down?
for someone to say something. I'm like, no one said anything.
Don't worry,
Uh,
Bill.
I'm up and down on it. No one said anything. Look at you
Yes.
guys. Everyone's all like actually going, let me write that down.
James
Okay.
will be
Wait, did he just do
soon.
something?
I didn't want to
Okay.
interrupt you, but oh man, it was like just
Great.
seething out of me.
Keep going. Bill.
I actually,
That's sorry. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, go ahead.
nothing. I don't want to say nothing because I'm going to say nothing drives me crazier about like 100 different things on this topic, which is why I wanted to be the first one. Is walking in, even when it was my gym, and seeing like those white block hand marks where we did snatches the day before on the bar, and I'm like, who the f left this bar out? Because ours is like, and this is where we created the culture of that. It was, all right, bar's done, plates away, brush your bars down while it's horizontal, wipe it down when you're done, put the bar away. And Bill, on those vertical stack ones, what we found out was when I started taking the bars apart, those washers,
Yeah.
the half washers would crack.
Dude, found that. I know.
And what we found out is they were cracking because the metal vertical, like those bars aren't meant
Right.
to be
I know.
landed like that. So what we did was we slid some rubber flooring at the base, or we cut out those little holes. I guess AbMat sells them now, but where it would just bounce on the rubber and actually.
Oh, that's smart. That's a good trick.
That's a good idea.
And the same thing for like the kettlebell racks that are just like the flat metal tables. And when you put it down, it sounds like a freaking bomb goes off in the gym. We just put a sliver of rubber matting on top of it and you won't hear it anymore.
Dude, you know what? I wonder if I could get like I could run down to Big Five or something and go grab like a bucket of like racquetballs and drop them into the holes and just have that be
Easy.
Dude, I'm totally gonna do that.
Easy.
That's a really good idea.
Wait, I got a question for you guys. Bill, is your gym? Do you have like powder coated pull up bars?
They were, and I sanded it down.
Okay,
Oh,
Chase. Did you have powder coated?
We had a couple Spiel bars, so that
like-
bear
yeah.
bar, and we had powder coated bars that just turned into slick bars.
Well, so that's where I'm going with this. So do you wipe down and clean thoroughly your pull-up bars, or do you let them condition with a little bit of chalk?
I
a little
love
bit
that
of
word.
thin,
I like
a
that
little-
word.
A little bit of
It's
whatever.
like seasoning your flat top grill.
So
right?
that's exactly how I think of it, because the more you clean powder coating, the more it becomes super smooth, and then you're either replacing it or whatever, or you just have a crappy pull-up bar that no one wants to use in the gym. I'm a fan of Spiel bars, and I don't care how rusty they get. Like that's part
The
of
rustier the better.
Totally. I don't
throw
come
my
off of
strap
those
over-
things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for those gyms that have powder coating and they're cleaning them all the time, yeah, it looks nice to have it. Like there's a trade-off, right? Like, do you want your bars to perform with that sticky shit that builds up over there, or do you want them to look beautiful every time they come in? That's actually, I don't know the answer to that.
I literally took a palm sander to all the bars that were powder coated,
Nice.
just because I wanted to take that slick off.
Mhm.
I didn't like that at all. I do know that I think we have a couple that are still on the rig, and the only reason I really had it was because I know that if we had athletes, that would go to competitions, and if they had a bar, I always hate that where it's like, oh, I can get 50 unbroken pull-ups, but I could only get 7 there because the bar was so slippery.
Yeah.
Well, I want people to be able to train on slippery bars
Mhm.
so that they can go to a regular bar and they can crush from there. But yeah, I remember that we got all those things set up. The Spiel bars were awesome, and everyone was fighting over those. I'm like, well, okay, then we're gonna make all of them Spiel bars then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seth, to your question, is that the only time we would clean the bar is if we were hosting a level 1 just for optics, or like cuts on lines or something like that. But other than that,
seasoning.
yeah. It's like olive oil for the pull-up bar.
Totally.
Just let it settle in there in
It's the iron skillet, man. You got to season it, condition it. Dude, that was a great word, conditioned it. I was like, that's exactly what.
That's very nice. Very nice. And conditioned sounds way better than seasoned, because then
Or dirty, nasty bar. Like if can I clean that bar? No, you cannot.
Okay, so I put respect as one. Maintenance is really the one that we're talking about here. Notice, everyone, we haven't said buy new stuff.
Hold on. Has anyone in your gyms ever used wax on the bar?
Oh,
No.
what?
I've had people ask, and hell no.
Yeah, I had them use it and didn't ask, and I was like, whoever did this. I thought taping a pull-up bar was a
dude, I know.
no-go, and
Yeah.
it was definitely a no-go in my gym.
No
Now,
go.
the first gym I went to, that was like all the rage, but that was 2008, 2009, where we had taped pull-up bars and taped hand grips. And
Oh,
you did,
hell
like,
yeah.
all the the sticky would just like fuse, and you would not come off that pull-up bar.
100 pull-ups unbroken. You watch me go.
Yeah.
I had a couple that they asked. They were fair about it, and I'm like, what is that stuff? And like, well, we won't tear if we put this on. I'm like, so your hands are sticking to the wax,
Right.
and you're not gonna tear. That's exactly why you tear.
Right.
And they go, well, we used it down at this other gym, and it really worked well. And I go, okay, here's what I'll let you do. I'll let you put it on there, but you have to take it all off. And I mean, like, when I come back, when the workout's done and you are about to leave, if I feel that stuff on the bar, it will never happen again. So she put it on there. She did the workout. She's like, oh, it was great on my hands. I'm like, okay, cool, awesome. And it took her like 25 minutes to sit there with like a knife trying to get the thing into a bucket. And she's like having to sweep it off. And she's like, all right, that was more of a pain in the ass. I'm not going to do that again. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Unless someone's going for a Guinness Book of World Records pull-up thing, they're not putting wax anywhere near my bars.
It's
No
so
way.
dumb. It's so dumb. I can't even believe someone even came up with that idea, honestly.
Someone who probably doesn't own a gym.
Right?
Literally.
Right.
Okay. Another one I wanted to talk about, and this is where it's fun to talk with like owners, and like every gym is different. Every space is different. How you modify those spaces is one of those. And maybe this is just a list of like my problems as someone with like gym OCD, but I was going to say organization. Here we go again. If I walk into a gym and I see your mountain of dumbbells and you tell me to go find the 50s in there, like, I just want to leave immediately. Right? Like, just a mess pile of dumbbells over here, kettlebells over here, a stack of med balls, and just if it's completely disorganized. Like, if you don't have all of that and look, and the reason why I say that is because it's not 2010 anymore. Right? You have to keep up with the times. It was really easy to have all of these things that we're complaining about, which we never complained about 10, 15 years ago in CrossFit, because nobody else was in the space, and we were that dirty garage gym revolutionizing fitness in this chaotic world that we were living in, and like forging elite fitness, and that was okay, right? Ripped hands and taped bars and a pile of dumbbells and whatever, right? Drop them whatever you want. If you want to keep pace as a small business, and that small business happens to be gyms, I don't think you have the luxury to just have a disheveled facility with equipment everywhere, because just like equipment being broken or busted, I feel like that type of optics for your facility is a massive negative on your professionalization as an affiliate.
I agree with that, and I battle with that on a regular basis. Mine isn't necessarily with the dumbbells, even though that one's hard. I think most of the time the dumbbells are in their general place for the most part. The one that kills me, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out, I've been doing this so fucking long, and I can't figure out how to make this right. The rings hanging from the rig.
Oh.
How the fuck am I supposed to put those things in a way that they aren't dangling, they're not in the way, they're not like, I see people wrap somehow those things up out of the way. I see like the part of the Velcro part on the strap kind of goes away, so I can't get this nice little buckle, this nice little like knot, and it's a goddamn spider web of shit everywhere, and I see it, and I am irritated every day, every class. I'll move them to the wall, they get moved back, I throw them up over the thing, they're in the way, they're on the J-hooks. I'm like, shit, I can't think of a way to fix these at all.
So
I feel like you have an answer for that.
One of my I do have an answer. One of my pet peeves is when people move. You can adjust the rings, that's fine, but put them back. Put them back the way you found them. And most people, different sizes, they're all over the place, like you said, in a web. So we have those like straps that have like the pre like sewn in whatever,
Okay.
and we have carabiners that lock with a little hex head. So I put them all the way I want them, and I lock them as tight as I can. So you cannot adjust the rings. There's plenty of them out there. Sure, they might get in the way a little bit, but you can slide them to the wall if you want to. If they're in the way for muscle ups, you can on the trawler grab PVC pipe, slide them over. If the worst thing I have to do to deal with the rings is unslide them back for muscle ups once every 2 weeks for the class, fantastic. So I've locked those carabiners, and people are just stuck with the way they are.
Okay, but are they doing them all ring muscle? Do you ever do like ring dips?
Yeah, I have low rings. I have high rings. I
Yeah.
have probably 15
Bill, I
sets
got one.
across all the rigs.
Okay, so my rig, I had a 50-foot rig, and I think 12 squat stations on how it was set up. Every squat station had a set of low rings in it, right? And they were all at basically a fixed height, like Seth was talking about. We had ring muscle up rings down the center of it because we had 12-foot cross sections at the top, and eventually we got to this position where we used the little anchor fixed points. So like they were fixed and competition straps, so they were easy to adjust and instead of the pull through. But what we did as far as storage is I ended up getting, let me see if I can pull this up. Replace screen share. Ooh, I can do this. I got these things, and let me pull this up on these little guys. Okay. So what I did is I bought these little infinity peg that people use for like what was that strength?
Deadlifts and stuff?
Banded deadlifts.
Oh, yeah.
Squats, right? And what I did is I put them at the top of the squat rack under one of the holes, and we would slide the rings over and just drape it over that, and they hung behind the squat rack. And so no one moved rings anywhere because we had 12 sets of rings that were low. So we either use those for ring dips or we'd use them for ring rows, right? And if we were squatting or something, like we weren't programming ring dips that day, or we were doing cleans or front squats with the bar from the floor, like we made do to make it all work. And it was never really an interference with anything, especially of like a smaller class. But those things, we just peg them in, and then just wrap them behind the rack so you could squat freely. They wouldn't be in anybody's way. We used to do it where you just slid them to the sides. You just dealt with it next to you.
Yeah.
And this got them all out of the way. And so everything had its place and its hook, and it was the easiest fix we had.
I like it.
That's cool.
I like it. I wish they would make some sort of a band or a strap, or I need to come up with maybe just a Velcro piece to wrap around.
Well, it's like the Velcro pieces they give like on Go mats.
The little tail or whatever.
Yeah. Flip through wrap around. That's another way to do it. God, these comments are getting out of control.
They're so good.
I was wondering.
Corey, I'll answer this question. I'm happy to answer this question. I was actually talking to Seth about this. Corey's question was, Chase, why did you close or sell your gym? I closed my gym. We were open for a decade. And during that time, we were hitting our 10-year mark. Our lease was coming up in the space that we were in. And we couldn't find, I had been looking for a new space. So I live in Dallas, Texas. I've been looking for a new space for 2 years prior to our lease coming up. Couldn't find anything that was worthwhile. And like you could find something for something absurd and then just like make your business worse to do so. And then at the same time, as our lease was coming up, I got the job offer to work for CrossFit HQ, which for me, like working for CrossFit had always been a dream of mine. I've been doing outside things like seminar staff and broadcast as ways to be around that, but not internally as that. And I was turning 40 as my kid was about to start kindergarten. And it was just a decision that more the pros were to step out of the affiliate game after a decade and just pour more into my personal life and family. And though I miss the gym dearly, like I have gotten to do things with my kids, whether it's sports or school or just hangout time that I would have never had the opportunity to do so in the position I personally was at during the affiliate owner life. But Seth asked me this question is like, hey, 10 years down the road when you're a bit of an empty nester and kids go to college, are you going to jump back into it? I'm like, yes, I am.
Hold on. Did you go like this? Ashley's not here. Yes, I am going to do that.
It's like telling that really like racy joke. You're like, yes, I am. Yes, I would love to get back in ownership. Like I said, my affiliate is still active. It's in my garage, but getting back in the space is something that is in my future once I take care of my kids' future. So that's why.
Makes sense.
That's why. Okay. Anything else on organization?
No, I'm sure there is, and I'm like just blanking.
But just like the concept, right? Like that has an impact on how people act, perceive, appreciate, respect your space. Is if it's set up in a way that is that people come to the gym with that attitude and mentality. But if it's just a pile of crap everywhere, then they'll treat it like a pile of crap.
Yeah, there needs to be an organization to whatever that is. Like you have your ab mats all together, you have your wall balls, and knowing where the wall balls are. Same thing as like the dumbbells. You want the 20s to be in the 20 area. You want your 14s to be in the 14 area. If you got lighter ones for people to put those in those areas too, and try to keep them that way. And that has to be. I mean, it goes right back to the cleaning stuff as well, is trying to tell people to put them back in the area where they got them, just to kind of remind them. It's never perfect. But I think that organization, it totally helps. Plus, I mean, like, I'll come in and I'll open up the gym early, and I know when I'm closing the gym at night, if I'm the closer, I want that whoever's coming in the morning to be able to be like, okay, cool. All right. I want them to make sure that like, all right, the bathroom looks good and all that, but I also want to make sure that it's set up for them. Mm-hmm. So I think that organization, for the coaches, and it doesn't take much for everyone to go from class to class, to the early classes to be set up for the afternoon classes, the evening classes to be ready for the morning classes. It really doesn't take them a lot, which is good.
Yeah. Last thing I'll just say about that is just, I think aesthetics definitely matter. Like you had said earlier, Chase, like we want people to come in and have that like pleasing to the eye sort of feeling. You don't want someone to come into your gym who may be a little OCD or whatever and feel stressed when they come in. This is not a comfortable space. Like, even though I love the people, I love the workouts, like I don't like walking into this. And so if you can just make it that much better. Yeah, me too. I got to admit, like when I was first starting out, my first ever affiliate was in a garage in a house. We were just stacking shit up wherever we could against the walls, trying to get people in to work out, create space. Like, and over time, you develop all kinds of skills as to how to organize yourself better. And then you just got to hold yourself to that standard as you're learning new tricks and stuff.
I was in a gym after mine where you weren't allowed to use chalk in the gym because it would make things dirty. And I was like, all right, I thought I was bad.
I've seen a couple of gyms like that.
It's just, and they're like, we use liquid chalk. I'm like, that is so much worse.
Dude, totally. I wouldn't
get liquid chalk off rubber flooring.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't, if you can't use chalk, like, so what I try to think about, like, okay, there are a lot of gyms that they don't allow, and I saw you threw up about ghost riding the tens down, about not dropping weights. There are a lot of gyms that, because of where their position is, if it's over another occupancy another, they're not allowed to drop. You have to drop them on mats and stuff like that. One of the things that when I first got my first location and I had my first shipment of bumper plates come in, that was the first thing I did. Was I got the bar up overhead and I dropped it to the ground because I just wanted that, because it was just so damn cool. So I am all for, like, I don't have a problem with dropping weights, but the tens are a hard one. And that's something that, like, honestly, I wish I would have started that earlier with the tens, especially when people like
making a rule about it. Like,
about like not dropping it from overhead. You mean like just, dude, I have, okay, side note on this. And maybe if you guys want to go into business on this with me, I'm all for it. There has to be a way to take all of the bumper plates that I've had that have broke, split, whatever. I mean, I feel
like Rogue turns those into ballistic blocks.
Dude, I don't even know. I don't even know. Seriously, like, I mean, I have a lot that I could very easily, if there was a chipper or something that I could throw them all into and get some sort of a glue to put about it, like we would be saving people all kinds of money. But
you have a graveyard around your gym?
it's in the fucking back.
Yeah, I had one too.
Fucking
we used that for the sleds and yoke outside.
Exactly, totally.
I just throw them away now. They're just, I can't look
well,
at them.
dude, it's so hard. It's so hard. It just irritates me. But and this usually happens with women the most of the time. If they put a 10 on, then they want to start stacking on all the 5s and 2.5s and stuff like that, and it just flops. I'm like, will you just get a 15? Will you just get a 15? 15s will not flop. They'll be fine. It'll be great. It's the same thing as a 10 and a 5-pound weight.
15s bounce like a MFer though.
They do. I mean, yeah, I tell, like if it's crowded, that's one of the things is you gotta catch it on the bounce because I don't want it laying on someone. But I've had some people that, like, for some reason they think that they need to put their face way down to the ground.
Oh,
like you were gonna knock yourself out.
Oh yeah. I like I've accepted the fact that plates are going to break and they're going to break frequently.
Yeah, everything's going to break.
Yeah.
Right.
A little funny story. So when I took over one of my gyms, they had a lot of equipment and they had a ton of bumper plates, both kinds too, like the high temp and the HG or something like that.
Yeah,
the two different types of rubber, tons of them. And the guy who's selling to me says, "You'll never have to buy bumpers again." And I was like, okay. And then I started using my programming in there where they were lifting way more often than the previous programming was. And within like a year, we're replacing dozens of 10s and 15s, like those old plates that were a little bit dried out and just have hit the floor too many times. Dust. So it's part of the game, and I'm not going to program less of the opportunity to get fit because I'm trying to save myself a few bucks in plates. So I think like part of this, and I'm wrapping up my thought, but part of this is you explain during the workout briefing. You say something like, hey, if you're, the way this workout goes today, it's supposed to be moderate in weight or light in weight. If you cannot control this weight back to the ground, it's actually too heavy for the workout anyway. So you should be able to have some control, bring it back down. Or if you have a day where it's singles, you're telling them, hey, you're trying to choose a weight that's heavy enough you can drop one at a time, whatever. So the way you kind of set the tone and explain the workout, I think also plays a big part in the destruction or respect or however you want to call it of your plates and bars.
That was pretty good. But I have to ask, how many times did you have to say that? Because I know that I will give the briefing of the thing, and I'll say it again. I'll say it another way. I'll say it again. I'll say it as they're warming up. I'm saying it as they're getting their stuff, and they'll say it again, and then they'll go, wait, what are we doing on this one? How heavy am I supposed to go?
Wait, you don't build 5 whiteboard briefings into a 60-minute window because no one's listening any of the times that you do it?
I'll say it so much that I have given myself the right to be pissed off halfway through the class. What Soccer Mom just put up here is like, give some love to the 35, stop putting 25s and 10s together. Amen.
Dude, no one uses 35s.
So here's the rule that we
35s.
had in plates. And people are like, oh, you suck. It's like, we would say whole plates only. So if you're doing the workout, like, oh, I don't know what weight I should use. I'm going to use the 25 and the 10. I'm like, no, pick one, right? You're going 95, you're going 115, or use 135. Whole plates only. You're not going to add 10s together to make your 135-pound bar with the 25 and 10s because you're too lazy after your warm-up. I'm fine in warm-up, trying to figure out what weight to use. But once the workout starts, you use whole plates.
I like that, but now you're relying on 8 to 15, 20 people to make those switches when you're like, come on, we got to start the workout. We're going to run. Like, I like that in theory, but execution for all my coaches, I'm not sure they pull that off in time, but I do like that.
Yeah. I put that on the coaches to manage their class, and the programming to that gives them time to manage their class, which will be another show. Programming. I can't wait for that one. I'm sure everybody's going to want to jump on that one, but all right. Organization. Last one. And then we can kind of go where we want to. I know we wanted just a good, solid, quality hour. And this is a bit out there, and I put equipment in terms of necessary or enough. And what I mean by that, so here's an example of, let's see if I can pull this up. This is an example of necessary versus enough. And if you've seen this one, necessary. The old reverse hyper, right? Unless you are starting a Louis Simmons-esque gym, right? Or you have a swath of elite competitors that need to manage their lumbar stability.
An abundance of square footage.
And yes, at no point in time should your gym possess a reverse hyper. But we get into this thing at every affiliate owner does, and they do this with more than equipment. They'll do it with classes. They'll do it with offerings. Is like, oh, well, we need to have everything in the gym. That way everybody thinks our gym is cool because we have all the cool toys and like nobody uses them. This is just a $795 shaker bottle platform.
It is the best coffee table you will ever own.
It is a great
It
coffee.
is-
It is a
it
great
the
coffee
perfect
table.
height. It is
Yes.
the perfect height.
Taking calls in your gym on your computer because you put the computer on the reverse
So
high
many
and you're at
times.
chest level and you can just stand the whole time.
You take all your videos from there.
And so what I mean by necessary is like, I believe, and this is more for newer owners because they get into this fear that they need to have everything to start or an abundance of, is like, you just need to have the necessary things. And then that necessary will change as your clientele and your membership changes, right? It's like, okay, we don't need 15 barbells when the gym's just starting, like 5 will do. Same with rowers, same with med balls. Do we need 70-pound dumbbells? Like, are we going to semifinals? No. Okay, well, the open has 50s and quarterfinals. Those kind of things is making sure that you have the things that are necessary for your gym so you're not putting yourself in a deeper hole when you start the business, and you're not just like buying things unnecessarily because you think they're necessary. But if it's like, hey, we're getting more people. The coolest thing I think an owner can do for their members is to buy new equipment when it's needed or when it's necessary. Because then everybody there, I feel like, gets a sense of pride and purpose. It's like, hey, listen, everything is going so great, and I know we needed this. So here's 3 new men bars. Here's 2 new women's bars. We replaced all the 25s because those are the ones that break the most. And there's just a sense of pride in there, I think, for the owner and the community that they can share together, is because that's the reason why they get to have these new things.
I totally agree. And I think a lot of members want to actually grow, especially if it's a new affiliate, grow with the affiliate, right? So if you're starting a new one or whatever, and you're panicked, like, what if my class has 15 people? I must have 15 rowers. No, you do not need that. You can do 5 rowers, and we can figure out ways to do teams of 3 or intervals or whatever. Get 5 new nice rowers, keep them clean, keep them in good shape, work them in creative ways. You get plenty of opportunity to do that. Don't go overboard. And then when it's time to add 3 more or 2 or even 1 more, all of a sudden that concept 2 box shows up in the lobby or in the gym floor, and everyone's like, why? Like, people can't keep their hands off it. And the more times you get to give that opportunity to the people coming in, the more they're excited, that they're growing with you. The business in their eyes might be doing good. You're just letting them in on the experience. If you give them everything out of the gate, now you're trying to get out of debt. You're stressed out. You're figuring out other issues with your gym. And then when things break, now people are just pissed that one's down, not that it goes against you. It goes against you.
Bill?
You
came from the days of like making rings out of heated PVC pipes.
Right. We came from the original, the journal, how to make the stuff in your garage. And I know that the tendency is to think that people will come to your gym only if you have the shiny equipment. And if you are starting a gym and that is what's going to be your selling point, you're going to lose, because you cannot compete with the global gyms that out there that have everything, plus the sauna, plus the pool, plus everything.
Right.
Like, I don't care how nice your rogue and how many rowers you have, like, it's not going to work. You have to have something more than that. And I'll say this to my own old man self. I think that I probably could go push the other way a little bit more. Like, my selling point is my coaching. And I will tell someone, look, I will get you way more fit with a couple empty milk gallon things and some water and a sandbag or whatever than all of that shiny shit will do for you, because That's the product that I'm giving you. But I know that doesn't, I mean, I can't have a bunch of milk bottles in the gym and think that that's going to work. You know what I mean? So I think that there's a happy medium between there. And I think that like, you have to remember what your product is. Are you renting space to people and renting equipment, or are you giving them the coaching plan and the methodology and the programming and the nutrition help and all that? Is that your thing? These other things, what we're using to supplement that. So I like, okay, this was okay. Here's a talking to my CrossFit HQ buddy up there, L1 guy. So GHDs are not cheap, right?
No.
Okay. How many GHDs should gyms have in their gym? How many? Should.
Like your average affiliate?
Yeah.
0.
Okay, exactly. Now, I had a couple, like not the big Rogue thing that's got the same footprint as the reverse hyper there.
I had Pro Maxes.
Right. So I had a couple of those too. And I had the first time we had a level 1 that came to the gym, I literally got attacked. What the hell are these things, Bill? You can't have these things. I'm like, what are you talking about? You sit on it just like these, you go back.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to break this thing. And I'm like, so you're telling me that as an affiliate, I need to have, for level 1, I need to have an $800 thing that's not going to move, so that you can come in here and do that.
GHD.
Right. Like, really? Seriously? I was so mad about that. We have a nice GHD, and some people will use it, you know, I mean, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think that the owner of the gym needs to prioritize, like, what are they trying to do, and what are they planning on doing with the programming?
Yeah.
Like, you don't, just like what Seth said, you don't need 15 rowers. You need to know, like, what's the size of your class normally, and then how can you utilize those rowers in the class? Can you run it as stations? Can you run it as intervals? Whatever you need to do. So, you know, it's not just X equipment equals return. It is, how does that equipment enhance what I am trying to give to the members, and what I want that to look like?
You said something that I did not want to let get glossed over, was I sell my coaching, right? And at the end of the day, that is really the only thing CrossFit has that separates itself from everybody else.
100%.
Is the methodology, but your ability to coach it appropriately to the masses, the quality of coaching that we have, the quality of opportunities we have to advance people's coaching abilities through the level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like that is the thing that CrossFit has over everybody else. Because at the end of the day, when you're battling these corporations, like you said, Bill, like F45s, Orange Theories, or Globo Gyms, like they all have a system set up in a franchise model where they can have the nicest gyms, and they all have AC, and everything is clean, and all this other things. Like, but the thing that separates us from everybody else is that, and it's always been that.
I don't think I've ever had a member go to somebody in their circle, family, coworker, whatever, and say, you got to come to this gym because of this equipment, that equipment. They say, you got to come to this gym. Seth will take care of you, or this coach is so fun. You have to come try this class. I love this person, or this is great. The programming's super hard. I love the way that, like, those are the things that are going to bring people in. No one is talking about your equipment. If you're meeting I don't want to say bare minimum, but if you're doing a good job with it, and you have enough to supply what you're putting out there as your actual product, like you said, coaching, you're fine. They're not going to complain about it. You're always going to have somebody who says something, but that's in every topic ever. For the most part, people are going to refer each other because they like you, or they like your staff, or they like your classes. So it's really, it does come down to that. But
in those other gyms, the bigger gyms, the franchisee gyms, whichever, that is what they'll say. Oh, you know what? They got these machines.
Oh,
here. They have all of these rowers here. They have that sauna, because that's what they sell.
Right.
They're selling, and your membership to that is you're renting space to rent that equipment. That's all it is.
Yeah, my Phoenix gym is right down the road from a Lifetime Fitness. That thing is a resort that you get for the same price as the CrossFit gym. It's the same monthly fee, and it's a freaking resort with childcare and like restaurants and whatever you need. But people still prefer the coaching and the fitness they get at the CrossFit gym. So
I think that is the perfect circle button on the whole topic, because you could have all of those things. And if that is your only selling point, there's no anchor for someone to be there for that, because they'll just jump to the next place that has cool music and nice bathrooms or air conditioning. But people will stay even through the tough times or through your not best moments as an owner with the equipment or whatever that's going on, because of the services you provide them. But more importantly, and this is where I actually wanted to bring this up on Pedro's show the other day, but the question changed, was at no point should you be selling a product as your mainstay of what your gym is, or even CrossFit in general. The biggest things the best companies in the world sell are emotions, relationships, and some type of individuality when you get there. And Seth said it perfectly. I stay because of the coaching that I got and the feeling that I got because of that coaching and the life-changing things that happened there. Those type of things are the things that you sell. But the one thing that can detract from people is, yeah, this place was great, but everything was trashed.
Right.
That's where the equipment conversation comes into play. Not they have the nicest bars, the nicest bathrooms, because I've been to a gym that had the coolest, nicest locker room I've ever seen in a CrossFit gym. And the equipment sucked, the coaching is bad, I hated the programming, and the people there were a bunch of assholes. And I didn't want to be there anymore. So I didn't care how nice this one thing was. It wasn't going to keep me there for the reason why I was there to begin with.
I agree.
Fair.
I agree.
All right. Well, gang, thanks for hanging out with us. You guys in the comments were freaking awesome. I think I'm very excited about what this can hold. Seth, I appreciate you taking the time to join us on the equipment episode.
I want to come back.
Dude.
All right.
Well, it's all affiliate stuff, so absolutely.
Yeah, anytime. And if you guys have we've got a list of topics that we'll put in this this series. But if you guys have ideas, topics you guys want us to tackle, maybe issues you've seen your affiliate owner have, or you're affiliate owner yourself, and you're like, hey, I don't know how to manage this situation or this, throw it in there. We want this to be a position, and because why your affiliate sucks is like, we don't want it to suck anymore. We want to bring those things to the forefront of, hey, look, this simple change could maybe get you over that hump that you just didn't see. And we just wanted to put that right in front of your face and as opportunity. So we hope you guys play the clip. Never forget, Spin, you are actually the king of finding clips and putting them together. So Bill can have his John Young moment, possibly.
Well, that's okay. He'll make me famous. It'll be fine.
Yes. Clock, thank you, Steph, Chase, Bill. That's a lineup. It is a hell of a lineup. That was an awesome show. Thank you guys so much. Yes, don't worry, Augustus. Your programming will be coming up, and we might have a few guys on that show, and we made it block off 3 hours.
There is no way we can get an hour done on that one.
No
way. Baby.
Absolutely
no way.
But thank you guys for joining us. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. And nothing's happening this weekend, is it? When's Crash? Next weekend?
Next weekend.
Crash is next weekend. Are you going to be there?
Yeah.
In person?
Me and John. Me and John are going to be calling the action.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be so fun.
That is going to be great. Well, I'll look forward to that next weekend. I think some type of programming preview show is going to be on the Savon podcast soon for Crash.
Yeah.
So stay tuned to that. We'll probably get JR on after, as we definitely will analyze the programming of the Crash Crucible. But happy Friday. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.